I'm delighted that you're going to spend a few minutes with me just going over how you got into your particular area of training and the story why you made that choice. So maybe just to introduce yourself, also say where we are, what
Yeah.
country we are in.
Okay. Well, my name is Carla. I am 24 years old. We are in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And well, it all started because I wanted to be close to the music. I've always had a relationship with music that has guided all of my decisions. And however, I studied one semester of music composition, like music theory, and then I realized that it wasn't what I wanted to do because I wanted to be on the service with music and have that relationship with music. However, I was not an interpreter. I didn't want it to play an instrument for a living. I like to do that for me and to enjoy it. And then I looked for schools who teach uh, audio engineering, and I could not find any. I was 2 years out of school and learning and working in other places. I traveled a little bit. Just I went to Baltimore, Maryland, and I met a guy who worked for an institution called Sheffield Institute, and what he did was all the things I wanted to do, but it was not in my country. Then I went back to Mexico, and I found a school. Well, two schools. One of them is it was an institution who started in Madrid, and then they had different. How do you say sucursales?
Different schools, different
Yeah, different
locations.
locations. But it was like way too institutionalized for me, and I did not like the subject list of the topics. And then I found this other school that I actually liked, and I started there. And I want to specialize in live audio and in radio frequency, like analyzing the oscillation of the waves and all the physics involved in the subject. That's what I want to do, and that's what I.
You explained to me something that was rather interesting, and you used Cirque du Soleil as the example. Can you just mention how the audio engineer's job would relate to that, working with a Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a thing in radio frequency in which, as an audio engineer, you're in charge of the signals that everybody is using. And in Cirque du Soleil, it's very important that job because they tend to jump of greater heights, or play with fire or stuff that might be getting on the way with the life of people. And that engineer needs to be in charge of those frequencies in a way that it doesn't interfere with any phone frequencies or TV or anything out there in the spectrum of the electromagnetic waves. And it is very important because that legislation started because there was one time that a jumper died because he couldn't get the signal on time and he jumped at the wrong time, and then he fell and he died. So since then they started legislation in the matter of live, it's called live signals.
Okay.
And that's very interesting.
Well, Carla, I can see that you're excited.
Yeah.
You're beaming when you're speaking about this. I, from an educator's perspective, we spoke also about how different frequencies can affect um, people who are hypersensitive to audio. So I can see that your field could be useful in many different applications too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.